Have you ever noticed that women involved in secret relationships often unintentionally reveal pieces of what they're trying so hard to conceal? Surprisingly, it's not complicated. It often shows through the words they casually use in everyday conversations. In this video, we're going to explore 5 common phrases frequently used by women who are hiding a relationship. What you're about to hear could completely shift how you look at relationships. If you're currently in a relationship, this insight may help you recognize signs that have been right in front of you the entire time, yet you may have never truly paid attention to them. Before we dive in, if you find this information valuable, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. Also, drop an I know in the comments to show you're fully engaged. Now, before we discuss the first phrase, there's something important you need to understand. Infidelity in a relationship rarely happens without warning. In most situations, it develops from complex psychological patterns that build gradually over time. Language, in many ways, acts as a reflection of a person's internal state. When a woman is involved in 2 relationships at once, her mind is constantly trying to manage 2 opposing realities. On one side, there's her primary relationship, and on the other, there's the hidden connection she's trying to keep out of sight. This internal conflict is referred to in psychology as cognitive tension, a form of mental strain that can cause certain words or expressions to slip out unintentionally. Have you ever felt that your partner occasionally says something that sounds slightly off or unlike how they usually speak? Stay with this video until the end, because what you're about to learn may change how you interpret behaviors you've always overlooked. The first phrase you'll often hear is, "I feel like you don't really understand me anymore," or "you don't know me like you used to." These statements may sound emotional or even hurtful, but they often carry a deeper meaning beneath the surface. In some cases, it may indicate that there is someone else who they feel understands them better. When these phrases start repeating, it can suggest a subconscious comparison between you and someone else. If another connection feels more emotionally satisfying, these words may begin to serve as a form of internal justification. As they convince themselves that you've changed, seeking comfort elsewhere can slowly start to feel natural to them. At that stage, part of the responsibility may appear to shift toward you, leaving you caught in a cycle of doubt and self-questioning. But the truth is often far more complicated than it seems. And don't overlook this phrase, because chances are, you may have heard it before without recognizing what it truly implies. The second phrase is, "I need space," or "I just want some time alone." When this is repeatedly expressed by someone in a hidden relationship, it doesn't necessarily mean they're withdrawing from everyone. More often, it suggests they're specifically creating distance from you to make room for other parts of their life. At first, this may seem like a healthy need for independence or personal time. But in many situations, it can also serve as a way to open opportunities to connect with someone else. This is why paying attention to small, subtle details becomes so important. If she consistently asks for space, yet remains highly active, spending time with friends, going out frequently, and staying engaged on social media, it's unlikely that she's seeking true solitude. Instead, what's really changing is her level of emotional closeness with you. Someone who genuinely needs space typically uses that time for reflection, emotional recovery, self-discovery, or personal growth. However, when another relationship is involved, the desire to stay socially active often remains unchanged. The difference is that the primary partner gradually becomes less of a priority. Another key detail to watch is when this request begins. Often, it appears after moments of deep emotional connection or intimacy. These experiences can trigger feelings of guilt, which may lead to emotional distancing as a way to ease internal pressure. Now we move to the third phrase, one that deserves your full attention. It often sounds calm, reasonable, and even reassuring. "This has nothing to do with you," or "it's not about you." This statement usually comes up when you start noticing behavioral changes and try to understand what's happening. Instead of receiving a clear explanation, you're given reassurance that you're not involved in the issue. But in a close relationship, emotional shifts almost always affect both partners in some way. When someone insists that it has nothing to do with you, it can sometimes be a way of avoiding deeper questions. Especially when there's something they're unwilling to disclose. The hidden meaning behind this phrase can often be interpreted as, "Please don't look any further into this." Many men fail to recognize that this statement may be accompanied by noticeable changes, reduced warmth, less interest, or behavior that feels unfamiliar. When you begin to question these changes, offering a vague explanation becomes the easiest way to avoid revealing the truth. Interestingly, from a psychological standpoint, the person may genuinely believe they are protecting you from pain by saying this. But in reality, it prevents you from understanding what's truly happening. The fourth phrase is one of the hardest to detect because it sounds so natural and believable. It often comes in the form of, "I'm just going through a lot right now," or "I have a lot on my mind." This is one of the most commonly used forms of justification. When you hear something like this, your instinct is usually to respond with empathy and support. You may even avoid asking further questions because you don't want to add to their stress. But that's exactly where the issue lies. Someone who is genuinely struggling often seeks emotional closeness, comfort, and reassurance from their partner. However, in situations involving infidelity, phrases like this can be used to explain away the growing emotional distance. Instead of bringing you closer, it creates a subtle barrier, one that allows space for that distance to continue expanding without raising too many concerns.